You're clinging to a relationship that should have ended long ago. And it's not just me saying it. It's the universe. It's already sent you every signal. And you chose to ignore them. Your body senses it. Your mind questions it. The connection doesn't flow naturally, but you keep pushing again and again. Here's the secret no one tells you. The more you resist, the more the universe pushes back, making it clearer that this bond isn't meant for you. When subtle warnings don't work, the universe shows you in ways you never expected. In this video, you'll uncover how the universe tries to alert you before it's too late. Stick around until the end, because once you recognize these signs, you'll realize the universe isn't punishing you. It's trying to set you free. Now tell me, have you ever ignored a clear sign from the universe and later regretted it? I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments. Have you ever felt something deep inside screaming for you to leave, but you stayed anyway? Even during the happy moments, there was always a heavy shadow, a silent discomfort you couldn't shake. Humans are incredible at ignoring the obvious. When emotions are involved, when we're in love or deeply attached, we create justifications to explain what shouldn't be explained. We call it love, loyalty, commitment. But often, it's just fear. Fear of letting go. Fear of change. The universe has its ways of showing us the truth we refuse to see. Small signs pop up, sometimes in a gentle whisper, sometimes like a crash of thunder. These signs come through strange coincidences, repeated struggles, or even physical sensations. CARL Jung called it synchronicity, random events that carry deep personal meaning. They build up until we can no longer pretend. A relationship that once felt perfect starts to unravel. Broken promises, constant misunderstandings, a gnawing feeling that something isn't right. But instead of facing it, we cling harder. We tell ourselves, it's just a rough patch. Every couple fights. It'll pass. And so, we sweep reality under the rug. But the universe doesn't quit easily. It begins with subtle hints, little messages that only the most tuned in will notice. When ignored, those signs get louder. Trips are cancelled. Gifts are forgotten. Conversations that should bring understanding only cause more confusion. Small details stack up, revealing a truth we don't want to see. This relationship is being forced. And the more you resist, the more you hurt. Jung once said, "What you resist persists." The harder you push to make something work that's broken, the deeper the pain grows. Your unconscious already knows the truth, long before your conscious mind is willing to accept it. But facing reality hurts. Change is terrifying. The fear of loneliness keeps us frozen. So we stay. We ignore the body, the mind, the signs, until we're left with no choice. When that moment comes, the pain of staying outweighs the fear of leaving. But by then, so much unnecessary suffering has already passed. The body knows it. The mind feels it. The universe signals it. But the real question is, are you paying attention? How do we recognize when we're ignoring the signs? Sometimes the body knows before the mind does. Have you ever felt your chest tighten before a hard conversation? Or a knot in your stomach just thinking about someone? The body reacts first. At first, the signals are small, a little more tired than usual, trouble sleeping, some shoulder tension, nothing alarming. But slowly, these symptoms escalate. Insomnia deepens into exhaustion. Muscle pain lingers. Your heart races for no obvious reason. That's your body speaking, even if you're not ready to hear it. Jung believed the unconscious speaks not just in dreams or thoughts, but also through the body. When we suppress uncomfortable truths, They don't disappear. They show up physically. When a relationship isn't meant for you, your body reacts. Anxiety, chronic tension, exhaustion with no clear cause. You rationalize it. Stress, busy life, just a phase. But the discomfort grows. It doesn't hit all at once. First, it's random unease. Then, persistent restlessness. Your sleep worsens. Your appetite shifts. Your chest tightens for no reason. Moments that used to feel light now feel heavy. Being around them drains you. Tiny things that once made you smile now irritate you. You think you're being paranoid, but it's not paranoia. It's awareness without realizing it. Your body begins to shut down. Constant muscle tension. Shoulders stiff with stress. Your heart races when you hear their name, not from excitement, but dread. Your unconscious is screaming for you to listen, even when your mind keeps pretending everything's fine. The more you resist, the louder the symptoms become. Sleepless nights, digestive problems, energy that drains faster every day. You keep telling yourself you're okay, but your body tells another story. Some people live like this for years without realizing. They normalize the discomfort, accept emotional exhaustion as their baseline, until the inevitable crash happens. Sometimes it's a sudden anxiety attack. Sometimes a deep fatigue that feels endless. Some people even develop psychosomatic illnesses. Others lose their spark without knowing why. All because they ignored the early signs. The ones that were quiet, but consistent. The body never lies. It knows the truth before you can admit it. First a whisper, then symptoms. And if you keep ignoring them, the body will eventually force you to face it. But it's not just the body that speaks. The universe talks too, through the world around you. If the body feels it first, the environment follows. Small coincidences begin to appear. At first, they seem harmless, but over time, a clear pattern forms, one you can't ignore. Jung called this synchronicity. Seemingly random events with deep, hidden meaning. The universe doesn't shout. It whispers. First, it's subtle. Messages missed. Phone calls that never go through. Words that echo in unsettling ways. You feel the shift, but try to explain it away. Just a coincidence. But is it? Paulo Coelho once said, when you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it. But the opposite is true too. When something isn't meant for you, the universe places obstacles in your path. Plans fall apart. Meetings get delayed over and over. Conversations bring more confusion than clarity. Simple things become exhausting. And then external signs start appearing. Friends making innocent comments that hit too close. Hearing stories that eerily mirror your own, as if the whole world is trying to tell you. If you suffer enough, if you hold on long enough, somehow it'll all be worth it. That the struggle itself is proof it's meant to be. But that's not love. That's attachment. That's fear wearing the mask of devotion. True love doesn't feel like constant resistance. It feels like flow. Like two rivers joining into one, not two opposing currents fighting each other every step of the way. And the truth is, no matter how much you try to fix, heal, or save a relationship that's not aligned with who you are becoming, it will continue to fall apart, because it's supposed to. The universe isn't punishing you, it's guiding you. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself, and even for the other person, is to let go. Because when you finally release what's weighing you down, you create space for what's truly meant for you to find you. Not through struggle, not through exhaustion, but through alignment, through peace. The signs are already there. They've always been. The body whispers, the heart aches. The universe rearranges everything around you to show you the truth. The only question left is, are you ready to listen? Because the relationship is difficult, we convince ourselves it must be even more meaningful, that all this struggle must point to some deeper purpose. But hardship isn't proof of love. Love doesn't need to be a battlefield. And yet, how many stories have romanticized that idea? Impossible passions, obstacles overcome, happy endings earned through relentless effort. It's no wonder so many believe love must be hard to be real. That's the narrative we've been sold for centuries. But Jung reminds us, the real journey is individuation, personal evolution. And if a relationship is breaking you rather than building you, that's not love. That's resistance. How many times have you heard someone say they knew it was wrong from the beginning, but they stayed anyway? How many stories end with someone looking back and realizing all the signs were there from the start? The truth is, pain doesn't validate love. Struggle doesn't make it sacred. If you have to fight every single day just to make it work, maybe it's not love you're fighting for. Maybe it's just the fear of letting go. True love can have challenges, yes, but it never demands you lose yourself. And if you find yourself constantly trying to justify the pain as part of the journey, maybe it's time to ask, am I fighting for love or for an illusion? Because eventually, when even the illusion starts to fade, the universe sends a final warning. After all the signs, after the exhaustion, after convincing yourself it's all part of some greater plan, comes the inevitable breaking point. If you won't listen to the early warnings, life will find a way to make you see. And when that happens, the lesson rarely arrives gently. It strikes like a lightning bolt. Jung said, "What we do not face consciously returns to us as fate." In other words, ignoring the signs doesn't make them disappear. It only makes them come back louder, stronger, and harder to deny. That's when people experience what we call a forced rupture, an event so impactful it forces you to finally see the truth. It could be a sudden breakup, a betrayal, an emotional collapse, a physical breakdown, even an accident, not because life wants to punish you, but because if you refuse to make the change, life will make it for you. And when it does, it's rarely soft. How many stories have you heard about people clinging to a relationship that made no sense until something brutal ended it for good? How many people ignored every warning sign until betrayal surfaced? How many suffered twice as much by holding on too long, only to be broken even deeper when the truth finally hit? The universe doesn't take anything from you without a reason. When something needs to end, it whispers first. Then it throws obstacles. Then it drains your energy. But if you still won't listen, it rips it away. And in that moment, the pain is overwhelming. You feel lost, betrayed, shattered. But months or years later, when you look back, clarity emerges. That relationship that once felt essential now feels absurd. What once hurt now feels like relief. And if you're honest with yourself, you will see it. What felt like punishment was actually liberation. Because the universe doesn't make mistakes. It simply does for you what you didn't have the strength to do for yourself. And now, standing here, you have a choice to make. You can keep ignoring the signs, keep resisting what's inevitable, dragging out a pain that grows heavier every day. Or you can face the truth and finally let go. The real question is, what hurts more, letting go now, or holding on to something that's already slipping away? Jung said transformation only happens when we face our shadows. And often, the biggest shadow we carry is the fear of loss. Fear of admitting we invested years into something that couldn't be saved. Fear of being alone. Fear of looking inward and realizing the relationship reflected our own insecurities. But here's the truth. Nothing meant for you has to be forced. What's yours stays. What's not leaves. Pain only comes when we cling to what should have been released. So now I ask you, how many more signs do you need before making your decision? How many more sleepless nights? How much more exhaustion? How much more of yourself are you willing to drain before you accept that this isn't the relationship for you? In the end, the universe doesn't punish. It only shows the way. But choosing whether to follow or resist, that's entirely up to you. You can keep clinging to fear, postponing the inevitable, trying to repair something that no longer fits into your future. Or you can choose differently. You can choose to break free, to trust the signs, to make room for something that truly nurtures your growth. Because life never removes something without reason. When you let go of what isn't yours, what is meant for you finds its way. And when you finally stop fighting the current, you'll feel a peace you didn't even realize you were missing. The choice is yours. Resist until the very end, or finally step into your true peace. If this video resonated with you, if it helped you see something you already knew deep inside, write in the comments, I choose to listen to the signs from the universe. I want to know how many of you made it here, ready to listen, ready to choose differently. And, of course, if you want to continue exploring these topics, relationships, self-awareness, personal evolution, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay tuned. Because here, every video is another step toward living with more clarity and more purpose. And if this content truly spoke to you, you can support the channel by clicking the thanks button below. Your support helps us continue growing with more depth, more quality, and more reach. Every contribution makes a difference and is received with so much gratitude. Thank you for walking this path with me. See you in the next one.